All right, give it up for Ron Campbell.
This story starts the day I almost got killed twice. So, I was just out of college, and I was in this crappy day job, just basically to put gas in the tank and beer in the, or I should say burgers in the belly. And by night, I did what I wanted to do, what I'd always dreamt of doing. I was an actor. And by day, I fantasized about making a living at it. And at night, I was playing Cyrano in a little theater on La Cienega Boulevard for nothing but the sound of applause. And, well, in those days, I remember it was a Thursday because that was payday. I got my paycheck at the crappy job, and I went to the bank, and I waited in line for the teller to cash my check. And I was flirting with the girl next to me and kind of this and everything like that. And at that moment, two guys came in with guns and said, "Get on the ground, now!" And I looked at the girl and I thought, well, maybe this is going to work out because this is a great, experience that we're both having. And, But we all get on the ground now. And we're all in our front, as you would. But there's one lady, and she's on her back. And she's kind of like a turtle. And I don't know, I look over at the girl I was flirting with, and I go, and so I start army crawling toward the lady. I don't know what I'm thinking, maybe just to flip her over. I don't know what. And the guy on the counter with the gun levels the gun at me and says, "Don't you move, I will kill you." And the fact that he didn't use the contraction, "I'll kill you," but said, "I will kill you," I thought pretty much he would kill me. So I tried to become invisible, and I pressed my forehead against the cold linoleum tile, and I closed my eyes, and I waited for that hammer to hit the bullet that was nestled in the cylinder of that gun, and, well, the guy didn't shoot me. Hold your applause. So, and the only time I opened my eyes after that was I saw this, as they exited, I saw this crisp $100 bill float to the cold floor just like that. So that night, I'm at the theater putting my nose on for Cyrano, and I can't wait for the rest of the cast to arrive so I can tell my story about how the fact that I almost got my head blown off in a bank robbery that day. So just before the show, we used to kind of convene in the alley behind the theater to have a last cigarette before curtain. And so we're back there, and I'm telling my story, and I'm a young actor, and they're all young actors, so I'm really giving it, and I say, and I'm going, and he says, "This is a robbery, get on the ground," and my voice is echoing down the alley, and what I don't notice is there's a guy down the alley loading orchids and flowers into a delivery van, but I'm into it now. I got a rapt audience, and so I say, and I get to the point where he says, "Don't move, I will kill you." And at that moment, the sun blots out of the sky, and there is a guy with my frilly Cyrano shirt in his fist, and his real nose is about this far from my fake nose, and I remember the vein coming out of his neck, and he's seething, and he says, "Man, you gotta cut this shit out right now, because I did 2 tours, man, and there's shit out of my system yet, man. Not at all. Not at all." And he reaches some kind of personal plateau and finds that place inside him that squelches all that anger and all that hate and all that rage, and he does not strangle me. hold your applause. So at that moment, the stage manager pipes in and says, 15 minutes to places, everybody, come on. And we go in and we do that show. And I do that show, I do the next show. I do another show, and later that year, I quit my crappy job, and I become a professional actor. Hold your applause. I add from Cyrano. I play Richard III. I play Don Quixote. I play Sherlock Holmes. I'm across the street at Berkeley Rep. I eventually joined Cirque du Soleil and toured the world for like 7 years. So I'll tell you when. Where was I? Oh, okay. So I realized that things are going well for me. I've done this, and this thing called the pandemic, I don't know if you heard about it, comes on, and the auditions start to kind of get more, less and less, and that kind of thing. And so what do? I pivot. And my wife, who I met on tour, is an expert flower designer. And so we open a flower shop in Albany. And she makes these beautiful pieces of art, and I deliver them around the East Bay. And so now I'm the guy loading flowers into a van. And I should just come to the door, ring the bell, knock on the door, leave the flowers in a shady spot, and go and do the next delivery. But I've read the message. And I know if it's going to be a birthday, I sing a little birthday song. I make a little rhyme with the song. If it's Valentine's Day, I sing My Funny Valentine's Day, a little soft shoe, some kind of little thing. I should just leave the flowers and go. But that shit ain't out my system yet, man. Not at all. Not at all.
Ron Campbell, everybody.